Hello there, Stevos, and welcome back to an episode of Steve's movie wrap-up right here on my YouTube channel, SteveOfficial. Firstly, in real time, apologies for the delay in this video. I've had a few issues this afternoon with an electrical plug that was plugged in my room, and I had to sort that out, and it took me a little while to get that sorted out. And on top of that, I've just been doing a little bits and pieces here and there as well that I need to get done today, so apologies for the delay in this video. Secondly, can I just say, I went away this week and I took this cake with me, this iced Madeira cake, and obviously it's squished in my bag. Yeah, I'm just gonna see how badly this is really squished. I mean, this has got, this has got marzi. Is this marzipan? I'm not really a big fan of marzi, but you know what? I'll take a bite out of it. Oh no! It's literally, it's breaking off. I don't know. Let's have a look and see what movies I have watched and reviewed this week in this week's episode of the movie wrap-up. You're watching Steve's movie wrap-up, episode 69, right here on my YouTube channel, SteveOfficial. The first movie you'll be reviewing in this episode is Death of a Unicorn. So the first movie I watched this week was Death of a Unicorn, which I gave 3 stars over on Letterboxd. On the day of its digital release, which I only found out last week, I decided to bite the bullet and purchase Death of a Unicorn to buy and keep on digital. And yes, it was £20 on digital, but it was a movie that I did want to see at the cinema. I missed my opportunity to watch this one on the big screen, so instead decided to pay the price, literally, and watch this one at home on the slightly smaller screen and see if I enjoyed this one or not. So what did I think of Death of a Unicorn? I had a pretty fun time with this film. I know that in the trailer that it does state something about this movie being a little similar to Jurassic Park. I don't think it was. Like, I do get the concept behind it, and I can see where they were coming from in the trailer. But in the movie itself, when there is a total of 3 unicorns on screen at the same time, that is nowhere near the amount of dinosaurs that you see in the Jurassic Park movie. Death of a Unicorn does star Jenna Ortega, Will Poulter, Richard E. Grant, and Paul Rudd, and I will say that their characters did have some good storyline within the film. Some of the kills in this were rather brutal at times, as Death of a Unicorn is classed as a horror comedy, and I do from time to time enjoy a good horror comedy. There are some funny moments that I did snigger at times, and some pieces of dialogue as well that I did find rather funny too, which is always a good thing. There are some rather stunning visuals throughout Death of a Unicorn, which I am sure viewers who have not yet seen this film will enjoy watching as well. The film does clock in with a running time of 1 hour 47 minutes, and the story did keep me interested and intrigued to know what happens next to those characters within the story. I should also point out here that I feel as though we have finally discovered the secret as to why Paul Rudd stays looking so young as he gets older and older. And also another thing to point out in here is that Jenna Ortega is always typecast as teenage daughter. I swear that's going to be the role she plays in all the films that she stars in until she's in her 30s or late 30s. But not that I'm complaining too much, because the chemistry between Rudd and Ortega as father and daughter, respectively, I thought did work well. Death of a Unicorn is a film that I would recommend for people to watch if they are into their comedy movies, or are into their horror movies, or even into both genres of movies. And Death of a Unicorn is a movie that I would say I would go back and rewatch from time to time. However, though, I feel as though the only issue and problem I had was the ending did fall flat for me, which is why I have given this 3 stars and not more. If they had stuck the landing with this film, then I would have given it a slightly more higher rating. Death of a Unicorn is available to buy and rent on digital platforms right now. Fear Street Prom Queen.
The next movie I watched this week was Fear Street Prom Queen, which I gave 2 stars over on Letterboxd. Fear Street Prom Queen is the 4th Fear Street movie within the Fear Street franchise. You may remember that the first 3 released across the space of 3 weeks a few years ago on streaming service Netflix. And of course, this movie of Fear Street released on Netflix as well. Only difference, sadly, is that this time around there isn't any other Fear Street movies coming over the next few weeks. This is just a standalone release over on the streaming giant, although I do believe more Fear Street movies are coming in the near future, so keep your eyes peeled for when those movies come to Netflix. And as soon as they are released, I will, of course, watch and review them as well. But as for Fear Street Prom Queen, what did I think of this movie? Part of me enjoyed this, and the other part of me felt disappointed in watching this. I did somewhat enjoy the first 3 Fear Street movies when they were released a few years ago. I remember enjoying the first 2, but not so much the third one though. However, with Fear Street Prom Queen though, there was moments in here that I did enjoy. There was a couple of 80s horror references in here, which is great to see and hear within the dialogue as well. The movie is set in the 80s, 1988 to be more specific, and is set during prom at a high school in Shadyside. Fear Street Prom Queen does have a total running time of 1 hour 30 minutes. I do wish that this movie had been a little longer, because there are characters which, to be honest, didn't have a lot of development, so when it came to them being killed off, I didn't feel anything for them. However though, as for the kill scenes, some were quite creative and inventive as well, which is great to see, and I did enjoy some of the gore in this as well. I think if you change the aspect ratio to this movie, maybe slapped on a VHS filter on this movie, it can easily pass off as an 80s movie for sure. They have got some great music from the 80s in this movie, specifically within the prom scenes as well, which is always nice to see. The dialogue was rather mixed though, sadly, which is a shame. Again, the character development wasn't really there at all. However, as one character says in this film, nobody in Shadyside ever gets their happy ever after. If people in Shadyside know this, then why does Shadyside exist? And more to the point, why are people still living there if they know about the crime rate in the area? I do have a good point there. Is Fear Street Prom Queen a movie I can see myself watching again? I sadly don't think this will be. However, I do appreciate the movie and I did enjoy watching this one. However, I cannot see me going back and rewatching this one again. As for recommending this to the rest of the horror community, I would say give it a watch, even if it is just the once that you see this, because yes, the soundtrack is decent, and even the kills are somewhat good, but I think that if that is all you are going to take away from the film, sadly. Fear Street Prom Queen, along with the other Fear Street movies in the franchise, are streaming now over on the streaming service Netflix globally.
Back in Action.
And finally this week I watched Back in Action, which I gave 2.5 stars over on Letterboxd. Former CIA spies Emily and Matt are pulled back into espionage after their secret identities are exposed. So Back in Action is a movie that was originally supposed to release back in 2024, and then it got pushed back and was released at the start of the year in 2025, and it has indeed taken me until now to get around and watching it. Similar to my review of You're Cordially Invited, I was going through a lot back in January, and I hadn't really had the headspace back then to watch new movies. Not that I wasn't watching anything, I was mostly watching comfort movies. But still, here we are though, and I have now got around to watching this film. So what is my thoughts on this? Well, the movie does star Cameron Diaz, who makes her first on-screen role in a really long time. I believe the next movie she will be doing is Shrek 5 in 2026, but then again, that's just voicing the character of Fiona, which she has been doing since 2001. But still though, was it great to have her appear on screen? it was. The movie does also star Jamie Foxx, who does provide some of the comedic humour on screen throughout the film. Does all the jokes land though? Sadly they didn't, which is a real shame. And also the film does star Andrew Scott as well. The film does come with a running time of 1 hour 54 minutes. Was the running time too long for me? I do think so, because there was some times throughout where I was checking to see how long the film had left to go, and I do wish they maybe had shortened this down by about 15 to 20 minutes. Although, what I will say is, despite the fact that the jokes do fall flat in this movie, the action sequences, when they do appear, aren't a letdown, which is rather good. I do think it's also rather fitting that this film is titled Back in Action, and having it star Cameron Diaz, particularly as she has been away from Hollywood for a while, taking a step back and focusing on life away from the big screen and away from Hollywood. So to return to the world of movies and be in a film which is called Back in Action, for me, I find that rather fitting for the actress who has been away for a long time. Is Back in Action a movie I can see me remembering? I don't think so, sadly. It will be. Is Back in Action a movie that I recommend? I do recommend this to people who enjoy comedy and people who enjoy action movies as well. And can I see myself going back and revisiting or rewatching Back in Action in the near future? Sadly for me, this is going to be a watch once and once only movie for me. However, I am glad that I have got around to watching it, because it has been on the watch list for quite some time now. But Back in Action is available to stream globally over on Netflix. I have got no idea why, but towards the end of that Back in Action review, I felt as though my voice was starting to go. I really hope and pray I'm not coming down with anything. But guys, that is it for this week's episode of the movie wrap up. I'm just going to have one more bite of this lovely, glorious with Coke. Anyway. That's not marzipan. That's just icing. I thought it was marzipan. But it's not. It's just icing. Anyway. Guys. Thank you for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode of the movie wrap up. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment in the comment section down below. And let me know what movies you've watched this week, regardless whether it's old, new, in cinemas, on streaming, on Blu-ray, on VHS. Let me know in the comment section down below. And as always, if you are new around here and you like what you see, feel free to hit that subscribe button to become a Stevo. I will be back with your next YouTube video tomorrow, Monday the 26th of May 2025, 4 PM UK time. It is this week's episode of the weekly vlog. Feel free to check that out then. At some point, by the way, I am in the process at the moment of planning to meet someone. I haven't really spoken about it much in the vlogs at the moment. I'm sure in the next couple of episodes of the vlogs I will talk about it. I don't know whether this person that I'm planning to meet up with is going to feel comfortable with me filming them and posting the content that we do together on YouTube. I will let you guys know in a future vlog in the next couple of weeks. If they are happy, then great, I'll film content with them. If they're not, that's understandable. I won't film content with them, but I will talk you through some of this stuff that me and this person are going to be doing together when we do it. But anyway, that I will save for another video. That will come up in the next couple of weeks of the weekly vlog, so stay tuned to that for that. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. From now, it's from me, it's goodbye. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys again in my next YouTube video.